Okay, good evening, hello, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. This says live, so I'm going to go with it, I'm going to trust it. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for riding along, all those that are on the ride as well. Because of the way live streaming works, it means that I can't have Zwift up at the same time as this stream. So I'm looking at my ride on the stream, which is a few seconds behind. Basically, if I get dropped by my own group ride, then it's okay. Let me make this so I can see the chat as well. I mean, you're going to have to let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, if any of that's working, that'd be great. The plan is to make this like a, I don't know, a bit of a Q&A. I made a list of about 2 things that I wanted to talk about in case nobody asks me any questions. However, I'm hoping that people will. Someone could let me know if the audio is working at least, that'd be great. Got a notification saying that I'm live. Does nobody say anything means that it means the audio isn't working? Okay, so for those that are watching or riding, right, here we go. Is the sound working? Can somebody let me know? Nice one, Neil. Thank goodness for that. Excellent. Cheers, guys. So, good evening. Here we go then. So this is, I mean, I've claimed it as something that I've invented myself. I appreciate that I didn't invent Zone 2, but this is the TriathlonDan Monday night 1 hour Zone 2 ride. And this stemmed from my most popular video ever on the channel is one of me just talking about power in my back garden. And in that video I spoke a bit about a 1 hour Zone 2 on a Monday night I used to do. Well, I did it very often. So then I thought, okay, I'll try and involve you guys in it. And that's where it stemmed from, so here we are. So the plan is, we just do this as a 1 hour steady spin. I have the grouping off, so unfortunately some people do get dropped and some people go off the front. However, for the vast majority of it, we stay together. It's a flat route in theory, so it should be okay. So yeah, let's roll. If anybody's got any questions, fire away. I'm going to try and manage the chat as well as actually talking. We'll see how we go. Jake, when do I think I'll take the IA out? So the IA is my new time trial bike. Well, I ordered a new chainring today. So when that comes, I'll get a chain on it. That's a start, isn't it? And what else do I need to do? And that's it. I need to fit a rear brake. Other than that, it's pretty much ready to roll. To be honest, it's just the weather. Like, I don't want to have to get it all grimy and mucky, especially when I can train indoors on this in the same position, like I'm getting that training effect. But yeah, I do need to get it out. I know I do. No worries, Nabil. Not a problem. Next time. Oh, Matt Legrand's steaming in. So Matt Legrand has a YouTube channel. If you haven't already checked him out, please do. He does lots of great product reviews and loads of giveaways. So he's probably running one once every couple of weeks at some point. So yeah, check him out. What big new stuff do I have coming up next on the channel? Well, a lot of my content is driven by events. So when the events are removed, it's hard for me to think about bigger project stuff. But it's almost like challenged me. So I've had to think of things to do. So a few things I've got planned this year. One of which involves Will Cowan, which is a bit of a project me and my cycling club buddies are taking on, which is basically, in fact I'll just tell you a bit about it. We're going to try and get a KOM, but a KOM that is like very well established in the local area. There's quite a long one, bit of a climb. So a bit of project work behind there, getting the legs for it to start, but also the strategy. I'm going to try and make a good a documentary style video of that. So it's probably my #1 biggest project this year. It's not going to be like a clickbaity, massive views video. It's just something that I want to do, and hopefully other people will enjoy it. Yeah, Liz would love to tell you more about chickens. You wouldn't believe how much footage I had to cut out of that because she just kept telling us all the little things about peaking bantams. When the new one comes along, we'll share more details, I'm sure. No worries. If anybody's been invited and missed the start, you are able to late join. So I think if you join the meetup, it just drops you near the front somewhere, which is great. You can just take a turn then. Yeah, so if you can see the Zwift chart, that's Matt. That's Matt who, in today's video, I rode with yesterday, and he's giving me some criticism for the route. It's not my fault he didn't download it. Yes, Josh, I have got the right bike. I did. What was I in? I was in a. I think I did a Zwift endurance ride on a TT bike or something. Obviously got no draft, something like that. Yeah, to be honest, Jake, I feel a bit of pressure now because I've ridden a Planet X for the last 5 years, 6 years. Absolutely fine. I've loved it, but having a bike that is towards the cheaper end, people don't really expect anything from you. Like you know, you walk around with it in transition, you don't get a second look. So then, when you do a decent performance, it's almost like, oh wow, that's good. Whereas, you know what it's like when you see people with good, decent bikes, you're almost like, oh, I hope he's got the legs to back it up. So I feel a bit of pressure from that, to be honest. But no, I'm just going to give it a good go this year. I've got a good mix of triathlons and time trials planned in, so I'm hoping to be able to, use it in a variety of disciplines and hopefully try and get some good results. But I mean, define good results. I'm just happy to get out there and just get some consistent racing done. Do you mean daily videos, Matt? If so, I'm pretty much used to it now. I'm working from home at the minute, so that means that I haven't got a commute. So what I'm basically doing is, like tonight, if anything, I'm training a bit later than I normally do. So if I normally train like 5:15, I'm finished at 6:30. I spend half an hour putting a video together. I've still got a bit of an evening. So when that changes, because hopefully we're going to go back to the office later this year, and that might have to change, but I'm just going to play it by ear. Just going to see what happens later in the year. So, Josh, what time am I looking for Ironman Wales? Now, I'm going to work on the basis that it is going ahead this year. I'm not going to entertain any chat about is it or isn't it. The only way I'm going to be in any sort of shape to do it is if I'm fully convinced it is. So therefore, I'm convinced it is, and the training's going to go that way. So time-wise, my goal is to qualify for Kona, and there's no like minimum, maximum time for that. It's all based on positions and age group. So when I did it last time, for reference, I did 11 hours and 17 minutes, or 11:20 something, and basically the last slot was taken in 10 hours and 2 minutes or something like that. So I've got to drop an hour and 20 off of the day. That's a lot of time to take off, but it's also not a lot. Like I ran 4:17, so I think if I can, quite conceivably drop half an hour off the run, 10-15 minutes off the bike, 10 minutes off the swim, like it all adds up. But that's still a lot of improvement, and you don't really know until you go there. I know that I can put together a better bike ride on the day, because I didn't have a particularly good ride last year, and I know that I could do a better run, but I do need to work on the swim as well, so otherwise I'm just, if I'm racing people in my age group that are swimming an hour, and I'm swimming an hour and 15, or swam an hour and 12 last time, I'm just so far behind already. I'm just giving myself a lot of work to do. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it won't happen this year, but I'm definitely going to give it a go. I'm going and giving it absolutely everything, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, so Patrick Hanna, who's in the chat and on the ride. Good to see you out, Patrick. I used to live not a million miles away from Patrick, and we got to know each other through local races. I can't remember the results. He beat me every time we raced each other, and has continued to do so. So he often comes to outdoor events. He did Ironman Wales. I've gotten close a few times. We had a sprint triathlon near us that was like a really local event, not really, taken very seriously, apart from the select few who took it far too seriously, me included. I think the closest I got, I was third. Was I third or second? I bet Patrick won it, but he was like 2 minutes ahead of me in an event that took like 52 minutes. And then at Ironman Wales 2019, I passed Patrick on the bike about 105 miles. And we'd spoken before the event, and I said, I need to put some serious time into on the bike. I remember when I passed him, I felt great when I came past him, and I was like, right, I need to put as much time between him and me as I can. So I put my foot down a bit and got to the end of the bike, and then got on the run. and I think he came past me at about 7 miles. You have to correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick. I think about 7 miles. And I remember watching him, he came past me, I thought that's the last I'll see of him. And then I caught him up again at about 13 or 14. And to watch it from the outside, it's probably like the slowest race ever known to man. But in my head, that was the first time I've been racing for a position, because it's in my age group as well. Anyway, then he eventually passed me again at 18 miles or so, and we were both having a tough time. I think we were both about 10-minute miling, and Patrick's a great runner, far better than I am, so he obviously wasn't having a great day. And then I never saw him again until the change tent. So yeah, definitely a score to be settled. Yeah, Matt, I mean, really, yeah, realistically it's sub 10 hours, but I'm doing the Outlaw full distance, which is like a British company that do half distance and full distances, but they're not under the Ironman brand. I've got a full at the end of July. That's a pretty fast course, so if I've got to expect to go sub 10 at Wales, which is a pretty hilly course, I need to be sub 9:30 at Outlaw. And I'm not a big fan of those people that like say, I'm going to do this time at this event this year. I genuinely don't know, but like you can model it to an extent, can't you? You know where your swimming is. The biking is a bit more of a variable because of the wind, but you can model it on best bike split and stuff. And then the running, anything can happen, can't it? It's such a long day out. Anything can happen, so yeah. Yeah, exactly, Matt. When you write it down like that, it's easy. I think in reality, my bike on a flat course will be quicker than that, but the run will be slower. Wait, hang on. At Wales, I did 5:40 at Wales last year, and even the pros don't just break 5 hours. So, spinning players, if you get too into the numbers and too into the splits, you'll end up not enjoying it. Because I think as much as I want to qualify for Kona, I want to enjoy it, I want to have a good time. So I don't want to do that too much. John, so this is kicker bike number 1, believe it or not, and Liz is on number 1 as well. Yes, I've seen the forums, I've experienced some issues, like you say, with the handlebars. I've managed to fix them. So mine's still got the original quick release on. Liz has got a nut and a bolt on. Just took the grease off it, tightened it up, left it overnight, put the handlebars back in, etc. So yeah, I feel your pain, but all good so far. Ollie, 5k, 10k PB. So I wouldn't say I'm in PB shape at the minute. I'm going to do a 5k time trial in a couple of weeks, but I think my 5k flat out PB is, well, I did 19 minutes a couple of years ago, but when I was 16 or 17, I did 18:40 something. So that still counts. That's on power of 10. Still counts. But yeah, that's about it. And 10k, I've done a 39 minutes and something. 39 minutes and change. This group ride looks like it's going okay, but Hugo Jinks, who's a very competitive athlete, doing some little sprints. So I have a list of things to talk about if there was going to be no questions. So I'll start working my way through those. And hopefully we'll get some more throughout it. So I should have probably opened with this. I'm actually nervous as hell about doing this. Like, doing videos every day is easy, because I can, if I don't like the clip, I can retake it or I can cut bits out. Live is just, it's live, isn't it? So I can't cut anything. So I was a bit scared, but here we are. Andy, how long before Liz drops me on climbs? Well, it sort of already happens. We have this, I can't remember which one of us started saying it first, but we now say to each other, when we pass each other, don't ever think I haven't got it. When she came past me at the weekend on one climb, like she comes from behind, here we go, excuses, doesn't make it obvious she's going to do a big attack, launches and then goes, don't ever think I haven't got it. So yeah. Tyler, how's the diet going? Well, if I'm honest, I haven't really been strict. I've been up and down like a yo-yo. Not in terms of weight, the last couple of weeks, whether I've poorly or really well, my weight has stayed the same, which is bad because that makes me think, what's the point? But yeah, I'm definitely on it now. Just seeing small gradual drops. I'm still 90 kilos, but you know, I got up to like 92 a couple of weeks ago, so little and often. Here you go. Well, it's not very often I'll record a clip and I'll play it back and I'll think, oh, I'll delete that. I'll often record a whole clip again, in which case when I come to edit it, I know that that whole clip's been deleted anyway, so I don't even need to rewatch it. Like I'm doing an intro, if I think, oh, I could have said that better, I'll just retake the whole intro rather than making it choppy. I might do, some days it just clicks and you won't have to do any retakes. Some days it might be, when you do it wrong once, 2, 3 times, you could do it 10 times. But on the whole it's alright. And I tend to now, if I say a word slightly wrong or if I think I like mumble something, I just go with it because I haven't got time to keep retaking it. You know what it's like when you're out on a run or doing a training session. Often, if I'm in here doing intervals, I'll pick the camera up in between an interval, I'll say something, and I've got like 30 seconds left for the next interval. So I've got time to keep doing it. Wow, David, that's great running as well. 36 minutes 10k, 53, awesome. Neil, I'm down to 100 grams of dry oats now, and a banana. And to be honest, I eat it, and I feel just the same as when I had 160. Like, it doesn't feel any less. It just looks less in the bowl. Jonathan, what's Ironman UK swim like? So I did it in 2018 when it was really hot and they had a lot of algae problems. So it was like up until the day before, there was real risk that it was going to be either a non-wetsuit swim or it was going to be cancelled because of the algae. So they declared it on the race day morning a wetsuit swim by 0.2 of a degree, so it was red hot. I think the water temperature was like 24 degrees or something. I can't remember what the exact temperature is. But then they changed it to 2 laps, so you had to get out. Or did they? Yeah, changed it to 2 laps. Hot, and in between the laps there were some fresh water showers, and you had to run through them to wash the algae off you or something. So, but yeah, it's okay. It's in a lake, so it's not choppy at all. If the weather's alright, and it was yeah, fine. I think I swam like 1:15 or something. Yeah, Hugo, I remember those days. But then I did that throughout my later teens, and then when I was 18 or so and started drinking beer, that's when it all went downhill, and I didn't get away with it as very much there. But yeah, make the most of it, mate. Gary, yeah, so Gary Hawks, weightlifting triathlete, another new YouTube triathlete. Check out his channel. You'll get you more and more used to it as you find your groove and find, like, I definitely find that if I'm talking about runs, I'm doing a run like I might do 3 or 4 times a week, a steady lunchtime run. I know pretty much what I'm saying, and I'm thinking, oh, I said this yesterday, so I'll try and say something different. Obviously you don't do daily videos, so it's a bit different, but you get the hang of it. It's just trial and error. But just don't worry about putting something up that you're not 100% happy with, because there'll always be another video. There'll always be a new one, so don't worry about it. Rodders, yeah, happy birthday, oh boy, yes. Yeah, Josh, I did enter long course weekend in Tenby last year. Obviously it didn't happen. And then they only gave us half the money as a refund, which I'm not going to get into. But that just made me realise that it was quite expensive. I think I only entered the bike and the run classic, and I think it was something like 150 quid, which might not seem like a huge amount of money, but when you spend the money on the entries as well and travel, all that, it all adds up. And for me, you couldn't use a TT bike on the bike course, so it was nothing more than a course recce. Well, I could have gone there anyway, and £150 would have covered a night or two's accommodation. So that's what I plan to do, just to go back for a recce. Because as well as that, there's definitely a lot of people in and around Tenby, like Andrew Horsford-Turner. He lives in Swansea. Well, Monday lives in Swansea. A lot of great triathletes that I'm sure if you reached out to them would show you around the course or give you some tips or something. So yeah, my plan was to go to go to Tenby at some point this year, get some swim coaching from Andrew Horsford-Turner, and get a course wrecking. Yeah, Tyler, I definitely thought about that. And you might have seen a little while ago I had one of my colleagues from work actually. She's knows a lot about sports nutrition, is qualified, etc. You know, she taught me through and the channel through a lot of tips, and she does do like a one-to-one nutrition coaching. If I'm honest, I'm almost a bit scared to like sign up to that. And I don't know how I'd react to the 100% structure, but maybe it's something. I'm going to give it another few weeks, and if I don't see any improvements, then I need to change something. So then I'll explore that a bit more, I think. And it's one of the most popular things I get DM'd about. People offering help with either nutrition tips, or they are a nutritionist and they'd like to help me out. And I really, really appreciate it, but I'm just not quite sure how to tackle it. I don't think, half of it is just my willpower. And if somebody's telling you to do something, it might work for a week or two, but if you don't want to do it, eventually you'll just do it, won't you? So, Lee, well, beef with other YouTubers. I reckon I could box Will Cowan, you're right, yeah. I'm a bit unsure because I was talking to Will about this the other day. We had a conversation in which somebody mediated between us. I'm a bit unsure as to whether people think there's actual beef between like triathlon YouTubers or not, because I've made various jokes about beef between YouTubers, and I know it's a joke, but I'm not sure if other people do. So I'll just clarify. To my knowledge, there is no beef between any of the triathlon YouTubers. On the contrary, in fact, we have a Facebook group in which we all talk about, I feel like creators, whatever we are. We talk about our videos, talk about our plans and stuff, and that's very friendly. They've probably got another group in which they talk about me, but in the one that I'm in, it's alright. Andrew Horsford-Turner is really good. Don't tell him that. No, yes, he's excellent. So that brings me on to then, how about, this is another thing I've written down, Holcombe Half this year, outlaw. There are a fair few of the triathlon YouTubers doing it. Liz and I are doing a relay. I don't think we're going to be challenging for the win. However, it is now part of the elite long distance licence criteria. What that means is, in the UK, if you are the first amateur on the podium, so basically if you win it, you get a pro licence, pro elite long distance licence. So that attracts a lot of very good athletes. So people go in there now, Harry Palmer, Will Cowan, Andrew Horsford-Turner. So I was trying to write down earlier, and I'd love to hear you guys' opinion, because I don't think any of those will like big up the rivalry and the potential race, because of course they're all racing. I'm not. Well, I'm doing the swim. I can stir the pot as much as I like. So I'm certainly really looking forward to those three going head to head. There's probably some other elite triathletes as well that I don't know, but to see all those go head to head on the race would be brilliant. Also, I'm hoping to be able to watch it unfold, and Will Cowan has told me on no uncertain terms I'm not allowed to fly his drone, but I'm going to try. So yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, let me know who you think could take the win out of those three. I know we've not seen them race very much, but if I'm not going to say who I think is going to take it, but close to the time. Yes, Gary, I have considered coaching, and I do still plan to do so. I'm just trying to decide when's right and in what format. So, behind the scenes, I'm studying level 1 and then level 2 British Triathlon Coach qualifications. However, I'm not sure where I want to take that. I definitely want to do some hands-on coaching. So we've got a tri club that isn't a million miles away from here. I'd quite like to get down there and actually coach people face to face, rather than just banging out training plans online. Not to say that's not important. I'm not criticising anybody who does that sort of thing. That's fine. That's pivotal. I have an online training plan. That's how you train. But I'm just not sure what direction I want to take it. As well as, I don't really have a huge amount of time. So I could make the time, yes, but I have to cut back on other things. So I like working full time. That's good. I like to be able to train. I like doing a daily video. So I don't want any of those things to detriment, to fall by the wayside. So going and coaching at a club means there's very little work in between. I can go to a swim session or go to a bike session, coach for that hour and a half, or however long it is, leave, and then that's it. I'm not getting loads of emails about it, loads of messages and stuff. So that might be the way to do it, but I'm not sure. But yeah, thank you for your kind words though. It's something I definitely want to do. So yeah, I think maybe I'll pick it up next winter. As well as the fact that my coach, James at RideHarder, you know, he has a coaching business, and he's certainly offered to, you know, be like my mentor. So I'd love to do that. I'm just not sure exactly how it's going to work. Like, he doesn't live very close to me. You know, he's quite busy, as am I. So I'm definitely going to use him as a resource and see if we can do something together in the future. I've already got the kit, so you know, might as well. Yeah, here you go. And loads of pros are doing YouTube. However, they're not, you know, they're not doing YouTube, are they? They're being in front of a camera. So I love, maybe just because that's what I do, but I love it when pros actually are like vlogging, like they're picking a camera up themselves. So you've got both ends of the spectrum, haven't you? You've got like Lionel Sanders, who has Talbot Cox doing all his videoing and editing and stuff. I absolutely love that channel. Brilliant. But then on the flip side, you've got people like Justin Metzler. Justin's in our creators Facebook group. Great guy, great channel if you haven't already checked it out. He will pick up a camera and do a vlog, and when he puts it together, like, you know that either somebody's helped him out or he's done it himself. Like, it's not like a massive drone shots, loads of cinematography, you know, it's just a real understandable video. Joe Skipper as well, to an extent. I know he picks up a camera every now and again, and he's more often than not has somebody doing it for him, but just seeing somebody who is, you know, like a real person, like, to me, like, somebody like Lionel Sanders is a bit less of a real person, not in terms of how he puts stuff across, but because I've never seen him train, I've seen him race, but like, I never spoke to him, and was like Joe Skipper, I've said hi at races, he hasn't got a clue who I am, but you know. So yeah, but to me though, any sort of content's good content, you know, the more the community grows, the more everybody grows. Oliver Simon, I can't say I know him, Josh, but yeah, as I say, there's probably a lot of good triathletes I don't know. Good triathletes don't tend to associate themselves with me. Yes, Nabil, yeah. It can be very lucrative from what I hear. Oh, hello, Liz has just come in. The beauty of being on a live stream, do not swear, do not take your clothes off.
I'm bringing the star of the show.
He's come a bit closer.
Here he is, the star of the show.
Oh my god. This is not acceptable. Is that it?
Hi everyone.
Yeah, has he used his new lip tray yet?
Not yet.
Liz says hi. Have a good day.
It's like a few of you.
Yeah.
I'm coming back later.
Okay.
Good one.
What we're talking about, training plans. Oh yeah, so yeah, I think it can be very lucrative, but you know, I work a full-time job. Like I don't have time to have another like business. Never say never, but just not for me at the minute. And I definitely want to get the knowledge first, and then some experience before I start trying to roll out something like that. Right on the bike.
Some of us have been grafting at work.
What's a good job side to need your pedals?
What?
It's alright, it's fine, just a pair of pedals short. So I had, when Liz started cycling, I had a spare pair of pedals and a spare pair, and she's now had both of them, so I'm now a bit short.
Not got any more chain oil on the cat recently. No, he prefers to get it on the carpet instead.
Do you want to swap? It's okay, we're getting hard floors everywhere on the stair. The most recent one was, I looped a chain upstairs. I know that's a crime because NRG, Nick at NRG will slate me for this now. I have one chain on my road bike that's a normal chain that isn't waxed. I haven't got around to changing it. So I dropped some squirt on it, which is a waxed lube. Fine, but took it down the stairs and of course it bumped down every stair. And every
other stair has now got an oil mark on.
So yeah.
It gets better.
It's just another positive of going to a proper waxed chain, Liz. I'll swap it this week. Yeah, I'm losing track now, so. Jonathan, how do I pace my Ironman bike and run? Now, I keep an eye on the power, but a lot of the time, I ride to feel. Just because you can't be a slave to the number, especially when there's people around you, you're looking around that much, and you've got to ride to conditions. I try and keep an eye on like my normalised power for the whole ride, rather than my 3-second power, because you know when you're going hard, don't you? And you know when you're going easy, so it's just keeping an eye on that little bit for me. My heart rate has generally always been a lot higher than I want it to be, so more often than not I just disregard it. That's really silly, I know, but yeah. How do you pace with?
What?
In events? You've got to not feel, haven't you?
Always on feel, yeah.
So there's no real like right or wrong. And you've always finished events thinking you've paced it there or thereabouts, haven't you?
Yeah.
So yeah. Day in the life of the cat though, just sleeps all day. Like you were here this morning till about, what, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock? And he's nowhere to be seen because he's just asleep. Cats don't care, do they?
No.
In fact, Liz, would you mind just saying hi to the people on the ride? Because I can't talk and type, I'm really losing track.
Oh, you've been ignoring them?
Well, yeah.
Good job your glamorous assistant's back, isn't it?
Well, Matt Waterfield's been there. I've nearly dropped actually. Josh says hi, Liz.
Yeah, I waved while you were talking.
I made tea.
Yeah, I'd already made the lasagna.
Oh, what? I looked at the menu. Oh dear. 2 teas. What's lasagna?
Right, what am I saying on this then?
Oh, referring back to Matt LeGrand's question earlier, he asked me about what projects have I got this year, like YouTube wise. One's right here. So I like documenting my training, and I like to think I'm somebody who's done triathlon for a few years, so I half know what I'm on about. I also want to document somebody who's like new to the sport and developing, finding, training the power meter, doing the first few events and stuff. I know you've done a couple of duathlons and a sprint tri in the past, but it's been a couple of years, hasn't it? So I'm looking forward to sharing that side of it as well, because there are so many people in that early stage of the sport. If they get some good advice or some good inspiration during that time, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, whenever, they could be a great athlete. Doesn't matter if they're not, but yeah, so I'm hoping to try and figure out how to capture Liz's journey. Hopefully it's not too painful.
No, and that's really interesting, because even on the Outlaw page today, I've seen loads of people asking about the bike course and things. So there is still so many new people giving triathlon a go, isn't there?
Yeah. Thankfully, somebody spent a whole day making a video about the Outlaw half bike course, didn't they?
Yeah.
Gabe, how much slower is the half Holcombe run course than a tarmac flatter course? So I've done the Holcombe myself in 2017, was it?
Yeah.
Something like that. I entered it because I double punctured on the Outlaw half Nottingham, didn't finish. So yeah, I did that. And my run was about 2:10, and then I did Nottingham the year after, or the year after that, around 1:37. So that's not just the difference in course, I was a lot fitter. At Holcombe, I don't think the surface slows you down. There is one hill that you do 3 times. The hill is up to the obelisk, which is like a big statue. Doesn't feel like much on the first lap, but the second and third you definitely feel it. I'd probably say it's a few minutes slower, but not a huge amount. It's certainly not a tough course, but in July the weather could be so hot, so it could actually be a really tough day out. The day I did it, it was quite warm, wasn't it?
It was really hot, yeah.
Yeah, and there's not really much cover. So if you're out in the sun, of course, by that time it's like lunchtime or later, so it can be a tough course. I'll be having a picnic this year anyway, watching all these silly fools run around like this. Yeah, so Rob's asking, do I change my mindset to be bike focused or run focused for small blocks of intensity? Finding yourself maintaining one in a week whilst going for another. Yes, I suppose, without trying to. So I'm more bike focused a lot of the time because I enjoy it more, and you naturally do what you enjoy, don't you? So my thought is always, how can I focus on running while still keeping the cycling there? So last year, in January and February, I hardly rode my bike. I rode it about 2 hours a week, and I did a lot of running. I was running between 40 and 50 miles a week. Then I picked up an injury, not through the running. I was doing some lab study, which involved doing sprints on a bike, and I unfortunately picked up a knee niggle there, which stopped me running, but I could then still ride. So then I got back on the bike, and within 2 to 3 weeks of structured training, my bike fitness was better than it ever had been. So that gave me the confidence that you can take time, not fully off the bike, but stepping back to focus on blocks of intensity running, and you'll be okay. So it's a constant battle of mine trying to force myself to run, but I've not tried too hard in the last 2 hours. Any Ironmans for Liz?
No, absolutely no. I don't do swimming.
Okay. Do you want to define don't do swimming in a bit more detail? Shall we talk about...
I dangerously don't do swimming. I'd like drowned.
So a few years ago we went on holiday to Centre Parks and Madam here had a... You guys are going to bring this up, didn't you?
Yeah.
She panicked in the wave pool and had to clamber onto me. I could stand up, bearing in mind. And at that point I thought, you need to start swimming. And then when we were in Kona, we went swimming with turtles and you had a life jacket on, didn't you? Absolute loser. But the thing is, I find it easy because I swam as a kid. You didn't, did you?
Well, I did, but then as soon as I knew how to swim, I stopped going.
Yeah. So as I did like club swimming, you'd never done that. So little things like you don't like putting your head on the water.
Yeah, that's the main thing for me. I don't like having my head underwater.
However, as part of the house move plan, like house spec was here, cycling location, run club, swim club. They were the priority orders. So we are pretty close to a leisure centre, and there is a great swim coach that coaches there. His name is Ash, and he's on this group ride.
He's just left, actually.
Oh, is it? Oh, right. Anyway, so he's going to pick up a swim group when we're allowed to, hopefully in April. And at that point, that's not just going to serve me. Liz doesn't quite know it yet. In fact, this might be the news breaking to her now. But Ash is happy to teach you how to swim as well, because I would love it if you could swim. I'm not saying you need to do an Ironman, but if you could just swim. Do little things like when we go open water swimming, Liz doesn't come, because why would she? She's going to hate it. Whereas if you actually enjoy it.
Yeah, I did one triathlon, but the swim was only 400 metres.
It was 300.
Oh, was it 300?
Yeah, but that's good
so
though.
I just about managed that one.
Yeah, but no, that's good though. But that showed me the glimmer of you can do it when you start training for it. It was only breaststroke, but even still.
Yeah, but it's never been an interest to me though.
No. Does triathlon interest you? Doing a triathlon then?
No, because the swimming does absolutely nothing for me.
Okay.
Running and biking, yeah. Swimming, no.
I'll work on it. Matt Legrand says, when's the channel getting upgraded nameless?
Who knows? It's nothing to do with me, unfortunately.
Exactly. You are but a guest.
Yes.
Thing is, Matt, if I rebrand the channel, when Liz leaves me, I don't have to change it again. So.
Yeah, and you're on thin ice already, aren't you?
Yeah. yeah, Lee. Can you not put things like that in the chat, please? Let me consult my list. I got notes. I had a note of things to talk about. What have I put? Oh, I'm pretty much done. Damn it.
Well, come on, you've got another 23 minutes yet.
Yeah. You might notice it's a little bit dark in this garage. The light that was above me is no longer there. I've got a ring light to the right of me. I think I broke it. And I bought the light off of Amazon, and it was advertised as twin 5-foot LED whatever. So only one's come. So I've queried it. They've emailed me today saying twin refers to there's 2 LED lights in the tube, not there are 2 of them. And that's not funny. It was 60 quid.
What?
I know, but I thought for 2.
No, that's quite your budget, not mine.
So I thought for 2 I thought, okay, 30 quid is not bad.
Yeah,
60 quid. I know, plus it didn't even work. I dropped it.
Yeah, smashed it all.
I know. Oh well. Fortunately, we're going to start selling airbands so you're not making millions.
Yeah.
That's a joke, I'm not selling them. Liz asked if you're still buzzing about your bike. Should we give some background?
Absolutely still buzzing, yeah. I keep sitting on it.
Do you really? I've not seen you do that.
I have a few times, yeah.
Oh god. So,
let's have a little practice like this, in TT position.
So, I've been talking to Lou for a long time now about bikes because he's after a TT bike. And we were sort of window shopping, weren't we? We weren't really looking for one for you. But anyway, Lou, in fact, if anybody has a medium or a large Speedmax or a large felt IA of any description, let me know or let Lou Burgess know. He has tentatively bought a bike, but there's always a chance that it might not work out. So, Lou was looking for a TT bike, and we're quite similar heights, me and Lou. And I saw a felt for sale, and I jumped on it, and that was the felt that I bought. Since then, hardly anything has come up in the right size. So he's been looking for like mad for bikes. And we kept joking because a lot of bikes that were coming for sale were small, so they were too small for him and for me. So he sent me a link to a Speedmax that he's seen, and he said, oh, this is a great spec, great price, great colour, but it's too small. Well, that's the one that Liz then bought.
So I said, I'm having that bike, watch this space.
So right from under his nose.
Yeah, sorry about that, Lou.
So yeah, hence him being a bit salty about Liz getting a new bike, but he has now sorted one, so pending him being the right size for it, he'll sort it. Andy Tucker, we're looking forward to the 12-hour TT. Absolutely. I'm not sure I got Liz to sign up to support me for the day.
Well, I was going to say, I'm looking forward to being bossed about all day by Daniel.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, I'm doing the Breckland 12-hour, which is a 12-hour TT in Norfolk. So I'm looking forward to that. I was supposed to do the National 12-hour Champs last year, but I had a dental issue and couldn't start.
That was a nightmare in itself.
It was a nightmare. I still went and watched and loved it, but so yeah.
Yeah, it was a great day, didn't it?
Yeah, it is the week after Outlaw full distance, so I'm a bit worried about that. But other than that, looking forward to it. Tri-Sci, who I supported on that day, lives very close to the course, so he's repaying the favour and he's going to help you out with the...
Yeah, which is good, because it is quite a big task, obviously following you around for 12 hours, keeping you fueled, so it takes a bit of pressure off me having somebody else there to help out.
Yeah, well it took me, you, my dad and Simon's family, didn't it, to really support him on the day.
That's it.
And I still think about times or ways we could have been a better support to him.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's all learning, isn't it? Cheers, Rob. Awesome. Yeah, that. If you're talking about the video I think you're talking about, that was like the one. Like that was a. I remember the day. I hadn't done a video that week. I think I was doing weekly at that point. And I thought, oh God, what can I do to put a video up today? And I just thought, oh no, I'll talk about power. So I talked about power. Just a video of me in the garden. And it did incredibly well. And it gained me about something like 600 subscribers. But that's YouTube. It's a bit of a lottery. I think every video is a lottery ticket. You just gotta buy loads. So obviously you put some thought into quality as well. But the more times you're chucking videos out there like that, the more chance you have of getting riding the algorithm. So here's a fun fact. Really not a fun fact actually. In December, that was my most viewed video. The video that I posted last April. Unreal. Yeah, I mean, Hugo, it wasn't the tooth that stopped me, it was the partial absence of a tooth. It was like broken off, wasn't it, and infected, and it wasn't good. Yeah, and of course, because of COVID, I couldn't get into the dentist for days, and I was like not sleeping at night at all. I was trying to hold water in my mouth. It was horrible.
It was horrible for me to live with as well.
It reduced me to tears at some point, didn't it? When the temperature changed in the outside world, like if I got in the car from being outside, it'd be unbearable. Like somebody was like squashing your head, it was unreal. Thanks, James. So first element endurance. The guys just popped them in the chat. James Hester. No, I was introducing people in the chat, not you. Anyway, James has his own channel as well, and if you're interested in beef with Will Cowan, James and Will are both really close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to get to Cowan, click subscribe on James's channel because that'll really rile him up. Great content. Again, he's on a massive training journey. He's got a big challenge he set himself this year to ride his own Grand Tour. I won't go into too much detail. I'll let you head across to his channel and check out the detail. But looks like an awesome challenge. Loads of good bike riding. I look forward to following along. Yeah, car situation. So, I've gone like full circle with it. Liz's car is still here. Not really had any interest in it, have we? So, I'm not going to panic just yet, like it just sits there. My car, I was committed that it was going to not go through its MOT, and I was going to just like scrap it or sell it spares or repairs or whatever. But just thinking, if we sell Liz's car, she hasn't got another one. If I've got rid of mine, having no car's a bit annoying. Well, not for me, but it's for Liz trying to get to work. So I booked in this Friday to go to a garage nearby, just for like a, you know, this is what's wrong with it, this is how much it's actually definitely going to cost you. I've priced up some parts, but I'm not a mechanic, so I'm not 100% sure. And obviously a mechanic's going to know a lot more than me, so I'm just going to brace myself for what it could be. But I'm just, yeah, I'm not going to start a GoFundMe charity case. The situation is it's quite an old car, so it's just not worth throwing the money at to get through an MOT for potentially being in the same situation next year. I think the money's better spent on something else. I don't necessarily mean like a newer car or a flash car, just something that hasn't got loads of faults. So yeah, that's the plan anyway. I don't know what it is, but I don't hesitate to spend money on bikes. When it comes to a car, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, I know who was talking. Tails have changed now.
You've got more bikes than me.
Thanks, George. I mean, the term all the gear, no idea comes to mind. In reality, this isn't expensive equipment. This microphone was 30 quid off of Amazon, so I don't know if it's actually any good or not. The little ring light is like a classic influencer, TikTok, whatever light. And then webcam's just a standard webcam.
Hi, David Raynham.
I was going to ignore him. Hi, David. I feel like, so David lives quite close to me. We've ridden together last year. And he follows a lot of YouTubers. When I see him in other people's live chats, I feel like he's cheating on me. It like hurts me a bit inside. I saw my Ed Laverack's live chat the other day and I was like, oh, he's telling Ed Laverack, well done. Is it still 480p? What? Should I put it at 1080? Oh, anyway. Yeah, Lee. So, finding 70.3 Ironman power. So I don't think I've found Ironman power, because I haven't done enough. I've only done, how have I done? 3 Ironman? Yeah, 3 Ironman bike legs. 3 Ironmans. Ironman UK was the first one. I didn't look at power, just sort of rode it because I didn't know what on earth I was doing. It was red hot. The second one was, what's the second one?
No, you didn't do the bike.
Have I only done 2?
Yeah.
Outlaw 4, the
Outlaw
bike was
4,
cancelled.
the bike was
Yes.
cancelled.
Okay, so my second Ironman was Wales, and there it's so undulating that your power's a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
So
Completely different, right?
yeah, so I wouldn't say I know my Ironman power. Half Ironman, I've done a fair bit more because you can do more without it taking up too much fatigue, and I found it to be like a hard tempo, so about 80% FTP. Like if half Ironman's taking you, so like a Will Cowan for example did Outlaw X, I think his split was like 2:12 or something like that. I'm riding about 2.5 hours. I'd probably be a little bit lower percentage wise because I'm riding for longer. When I had the best half Ironman ride I've ever done, which was 2019, I rode 2:18 at Nottingham Half, might mention it once or twice. That was off 277 watts, so for reference, I did about 10 watts more than that at Outlaw X last year, but it was a lot slower. So it's not just the power, it's like where you put it out, the equipment you use, your position and so on. There's so much to it. Just don't do yourself too much damage for the run.
The trouble is, like we were saying the other day, you sometimes don't know until it's too late though, do you?
Yeah, what did we say?
You were biking and you said, oh, how do you feel? And I said, yeah, I'm absolutely fine. And you said, well, you sometimes don't know until it's too late, and
Yeah.
that's true.
It feels good until it doesn't.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
1 minute you think, oh yeah, this is going great, and next thing, bam.
Yeah, Hugo, too many bikes. I like them all to have a purpose. TT bike racing, aero road bike for crits and chain gangs because I think it's quite a high probability of crashing in those. So I sort of, that bike is like, that could be smashed up at some point. A climbing bike, I absolutely love. But then a winter bike, which I haven't actually ridden yet, but that's the idea. Is that it? That's it. So we shout some people out in on the ride. Well, I can't see you. Tom Rigby, excellent triathlete, been to Kona. Ewan Dowes, he's in the Innovation Team Time Trial team. He's an absolute monster. It's like a 400 watt per kilo, 400 watt FTP. I'll try and hang on to him. Matt Waterfield, Team Icarus. What's got Dan Lanigan. Dan Lanigan is Ironman Dan, or Ironman Daniel on Instagram. He's doing Ironman UK this year. He used to be a boxer. So I have to be careful what I say now. But no, he's really good fun because whenever he puts a video up on his story or something about him shadowboxing or something, I always respond and say something like, oh, I'd kick your head in or something like that, or I'd spot you out. And he always obviously knows that I'm joking, and I did meet him out at Lawrence last year and he didn't clout me, so I think he just take it in the right way. But yeah, great athlete. Came quite late to the sport, but obviously he's a great athlete, so he's took to it really, really well.
Yeah,
it's good.
Great work, guys and girls.
Right, Mrs. Motivator. What are people saying in the Zwift chat?
Matt, can't stop thinking about food. I know I'm starving, Matt.
We've got 2 meals to eat now. I've got lasagna and curry. Yeah, Hugo, I suppose your racing is draft legal, isn't it though? So you only really need, you know, a race bike. There's plenty of time, mate, especially you want to wait till you stop growing. If you buy a dream bike and you love it and you get too big for it, it'll pain you to swap it. That's what I told Liz last year. I've outgrown all mine now. That's how it works.
Is it?
Yeah. Teresa in there. Teresa, national age group champion over 10 miles at TT last year. I haven't been on any trips. Are you joking? Oh, triathlon trip. Oh yeah, that's an interesting fact. I've never done a triathlon overseas.
Yeah. There
Alright,
you go.
sorry,
Read
Liz.
the question properly.
However, I would define triathlon trip as going abroad with your mates with bikes. And we're very lucky to have been to the Alps a couple of times, Mallorca a few times. So probably I'd say Mallorca because there's something for everybody. And all the times I've been, we've been with about 20 of us from the club. Awesome. Lots of bike riding, a bit of running as well, a bit of swimming in the sea. But at the end of the week that we go, in May, the 70.3 is on. I've never done it, but we've watched it every week, so it's almost like every year, so it's almost like you do a big week of training, and then your last day there, you relax, and you watch the 70.3. I'd class that as a triathlon trip. 1 year, for those that have watched for a while, might know Triple Brutal James, so our friend that has done a Triple Brutal, which is a triple Ironman, back to back. He once did a week's training with us, and then on the Saturday did the 70.3, and I think we'd done something like 400 miles or 450 miles in the week, and about 30,000 feet of climbing, like flat out. And the day before, he had a bit of an easier day, and I was done in, so I went with him for an hour, 90 minutes, and then he did the event on a hire bike, so he'd hired like a road bike, put clip-on bars on it, cleaned the chain, and I think he did 4:45 or something. And the bike course has got a big old hill in it, and it was like 2:40 or something. It was ridiculously good considering like the fatigue he'd had from that week. But then he's a good athlete. So
yeah, I'm gutted because I would have been going. Well, we've been going to Mallorca in May of this year, and obviously coronavirus has stopped that. But that would have been my first.
Well, last year, wouldn't
Oh
it?
no, we went
booked
to
it last
France,
year.
yeah, but that would have been my first time going with the club to Mallorca, so I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah, so as Liz has got more into sport, it's gone from me saying, can I go away with my friends, to actually, shall we go away and ride bikes together? That's just beautiful. Lee, yeah, Kona was a triathlon related trip. I think I'd call it a business trip. No, definitely triathlon related. Jonathan, what goggles do I use? Well, what goggles do I not use at the minute? I can't remember what they're called, but they're massive, like this big, and they sit outside my eye sockets. And that's why I wear them, because I never really got to grips with normal pool goggles, and I found that in events and open water, they're quite physical. You get clouted a couple of times, like they're like in your brain. Whereas the ones that are outside, if you take a bit of a hit to the face, it's just like, okay, get on with it. It doesn't really do anything. I quite like those. I've got a tinted set for, you know, the early starts where there's a low sun, and then a clear set for the pool. I can't remember what the brand is.
Shows how often he uses it.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I use them at Christmas. George, excellent question. Right, so you've got your first sprint try in July. Not sure what else to do. Well, the sprint try is perfect because you're getting a bit of everything. They're actually quite intense though, because you haven't got a huge amount of time in the water and on the bike and running. You're always thinking about the next transition or the next event. The longer events are a bit easier because you can almost like settle into it and relax. I mean, sprint try is what? 20k on a bike, so 10-mile TTs might be a good shout. They don't take much specific training for you, you don't really have to back off too much of them, so you can just do them as part of your training plan. What else? Maybe a duathlon. A bit of run by run could be a good bit of prep as well. But yeah, just a good all-round bit of training. Other events wise, I think once you get your swim up to being able to do 1500 metres, you'll probably find you're fit enough to do an Olympic distance try anyway. It's just going through the swim, or it was for me. Yes, well, one day, so have I? Well, you said, sorry for not ignoring Andy. I feel like he's had loads of, you know what he's like when you give him airtime, his head just goes. Yes, absolutely, well welcome for a trip up to the hills. Obviously later in the year we'll be going to the Hill Climb Champs, which I've actually entered you in it, so. So for those that are watching this stream, Matt Silk has just said sprint, question mark. Now Matt suggests this because he's a great rider and he's excellent on Zwift. He's our team captain on Innovation. I know that he's racing tomorrow and I'm not, so we'll give him a go, shall I? Put something in about, feel free to light it up for the last couple of minutes. So what I tend to do is nearly an hour of zone 2, and then if people want to have a bit of a smash fest at the end, then fine. I normally just sit out of it, but peer pressure might make me have a go. I've got an aero as well. Yes, well, one day. Always getting dropped, mate, you know me. Will's another one with the channel. Will is an actual professional triathlete, so he knows what he's doing. And he's got a cute dog, so what's not to like? Yeah, Hugo, I mean those races at Malawi are perfect for a sprint try, aren't they? Closed road, awesome. I'm going to try and get there some of the TTs this year. This is getting a bit hard, isn't it? So, okay, so this is just, it's alright. So some people are stretching it out on the front, so we'll try and keep in touch.
Someone's gone flying.
Is that Matt? Yeah. Well, he's sprinting, but you won't stay away from a group like this unless he keeps it. What's Hugo gone with him as well? Oh, might have missed the move there.
Learning how to use rollers. No, thank you, though.
So.
Lovely suggestion, but not for me.
I do have a set of rollers. They're in the loft.
That's what I'm saying.
I had a wild dream in which I thought, I know, I'll get some rollers. I can train TT position using the equipment in a TT bike. Can I get the hang of them? Can I? Heck. So, another one to watch this space.
Shall I just say cheers everyone on this chat?
Yeah, say cheers everyone. Have you told them it's you typing? Oh, just say that it's actually you. You can't miss it. We spend every day misleading people on videos.
It's actually me, everyone.
No, but say it on the chat. People think I know how to do a swim, bike, run, but it's not the case.
2 minutes and we can have dinner.
I thought I made it so you could have it without waiting for me. Anyway, Liz, what are you doing next Monday at 6 PM?
I think I'm at work again.
Oh, in fact, no, hang on. So this is going to be monthly from now on, with lockdown ending and with the weather getting better. People are quite rightly so going to be outside. So first Monday of every month, I'm going to try and get a bit more you know, a bit more behind this and try and make it a bit more a thing.
Are you going to do the live stream of it?
Yes.
Awesome.
There's Matt, just dropped in. Told him we'd gone too soon. Right, I've been dropped from this group as well. So now what we do is, if I can catch up to these, let's just go straight past them. Got a bit of momentum.
35 seconds.
They're not coming back very fast, are they?
25 seconds.
No, that's not happening.
Go on! Last 10 seconds.
That was it. Excellent fun. Thanks very much to anybody who came to the ride or tuned in. That's been brilliant. Whew. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 PM for a normal video, and the same time on the first Monday in April. Whew, for this again. Have a great week. Hope your training's going well. And I'll see you later.
You can't talk now, can you?
No. Shouldn't have handed over the outro to you.